Roy Rogers was a legendary figure in the world of Western entertainment. Born Leonard Franklin Slye on November 5, 1911 in Cincinnati, Ohio. He grew up to become a skilled singer, actor, and sharpshooter. Roy rose to fame in the 1930s and 1940s as the lead singer of the popular Western band Sons of the Pioneers. He then transitioned to film and became one of the most beloved stars of the Western genre. Along with his wife Dale Evans, Roy entertained audiences for decades with his music, films, and television shows. In this video, we will explore the life, career, and legacy of Roy Rogers, from his early days as a struggling musician to his status as a true American icon. We will delve into his music, his films, his famous horse trigger, and his lasting impact on Western entertainment. Join us as we celebrate the life of one of the greatest stars of the West, Roy Rogers. Chapter 1. The Early Years. Roy Rogers was born Leonard Franklin Slye on November 5, 1911 in Cincinnati, Ohio. His parents, Andrew and Mattie Slye, were of Irish and Cherokee ancestry and had 9 children. The family moved to rural Duck Run, Ohio, when Roy was a child, where he began his love for music and singing. As a young boy, Roy would often sing with his siblings and play instruments such as the harmonica and guitar. He dropped out of school in the 8th grade to help support his family by doing odd jobs, such as working on a fruit truck. In the early 1930s, Roy joined the singing group the Rocky Mountaineers, which later became the Sons of the Pioneers. The group played Western music, which Roy loved, and performed on the radio and in live shows. The Sons of the Pioneers became one of the most popular Western music groups of the time, and Roy's unique singing voice and guitar playing quickly gained attention. In 1935, Roy made his first film appearance in the movie Slightly Static, in which he played a singing cowboy. This led to more roles in Western films, and Roy eventually became a leading man in the genre. He appeared in over 100 films throughout his career, many of which featured his beloved horse, Trigger. In addition to his film career, Roy continued to sing and perform with the Sons of the Pioneers. In 1937, he married Arline Wilkins, with whom he had a son, Roy Jr. However, Arline tragically died from complications during childbirth in 1946. Despite this loss, Roy's career continued to flourish, and he became a beloved icon of American culture. His influence on Western music and film is still felt today, and his legacy as a singing cowboy lives on. Chapter 2. The Singing Cowboy. In the 1930s and 1940s, Roy Rogers became one of the most popular and beloved singing cowboys in America. He appeared in numerous Western films, often playing a heroic cowboy who rode his trusty horse, Trigger, and used his sharpshooting skills to fight off bandits and villains. Roy's film career began to take off in the late 1930s, when he signed a contract with Republic Pictures. His first starring role in a Western film was in Under Western Stars, 1938, in which he played a singing cowboy named Roy Rogers. The film was a hit, and Roy quickly became one of Republic's most bankable stars. Over the next several years, Roy appeared in numerous Western films, including Billy the Kid Returns, 1938, The Arizona Kid, 1939, and Young Buffalo Bill, 1940. In many of these films, he played a character named Roy Rogers, which became his stage name and the name by which he was known to audiences. In addition to his film work, Roy continued to perform with the Sons of the Pioneers, both on the radio and in live shows. He also began hosting his own radio show, The Roy Rogers Show, in 1944. The show was a hit, and it helped to solidify Roy's status as a beloved icon of American culture. In 1946, Roy suffered a personal tragedy when his wife Arline died during childbirth. He was devastated by her death, but he continued to work and perform, both in films and on the radio. In 1947, he married Dale Evans, who would become his longtime partner both on and off screen. Throughout the 1950s, Roy continued to appear in Western films, and he also began to transition into television. In 1951, he starred in The Roy Rogers Show, a television series that aired for 6 seasons. The show was a huge success, and it helped to cement Roy's status as one of the most beloved stars of the Western genre. Today, Roy Rogers is remembered as a pioneering figure in Western music and film. His unique blend of singing, acting, and sharpshooting helped to define the image of the singing cowboy. and his influence can still be seen in Western entertainment today. Chapter 3. The Legacy of Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers was not only a successful entertainer, but he also left a lasting impact on the world of Western entertainment. His legacy is still celebrated today, long after his death in 1998. One of the most enduring legacies of Roy Rogers is his beloved horse, Trigger. Roy acquired Trigger in 1938, and the two quickly became inseparable. Trigger became a fixture in Roy's films and live performances, and he became famous in his own right. Trigger was a highly trained horse, and he could perform a number of tricks and stunts that wowed audiences. When Trigger died in 1965, Roy had him preserved and put on display at the Roy Rogers and Dale Evans Museum in California. Roy also left a mark on the world of music. He was a skilled singer and guitarist, and his music helped to define the Western genre. He recorded hundreds of songs throughout his career, and many of them became hits. Some of his most popular songs include Don't Fence Me In, Tumbling Tumbleweeds, and Happy Trails. Roy's music is still celebrated today, and he is remembered as one of the greatest Western singers of all time. Another important part of Roy's legacy is his work in film and television. He appeared in over 100 films and starred in his own television series, The Roy Rogers Show. He helped to define the image of the singing cowboy, and he became one of the most beloved stars of the Western genre. Today, his films and television shows are still enjoyed by audiences around the world. In addition to his entertainment career, Roy was also known for his philanthropic work. He was involved in a number of charitable organizations, and he often performed benefit concerts to raise money for causes, such as the American Cancer Society and the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Today, Roy Rogers is remembered as a true American icon. His legacy lives on in his music, films, and charitable work, and his influence can still be felt in Western entertainment today. He is a beloved figure in American culture, and his impact on the world of Western entertainment will never be forgotten. Chapter 4. The Roy Rogers Museum and Final Years. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans opened the Roy Rogers and Dale Evans Museum in Victorville, California in 1967. The museum was a tribute to their careers and their love of the West. It housed a vast collection of memorabilia, including Roy's beloved horse Trigger, his famous Jeep, and many of his costumes and personal items. The museum quickly became a popular attraction, drawing visitors from all over the world. In 1976, the museum moved to a larger location in nearby Apple Valley, where it continued to thrive for several decades. Unfortunately, financial troubles eventually forced the museum to close its doors in 2009. The collection was sold at auction, and many of the items were dispersed to new owners. Today, some of Roy's personal items and memorabilia can still be found in private collections and museums around the country. In his final years, Roy Rogers continued to perform and make appearances. He was a regular guest on the Grand Ole Opry, and he continued to tour and perform with Dale Evans. He also made occasional appearances on television shows and in films, including a cameo in the 1991 film Maverick. Roy passed away on July 6, 1998, at the age of 86. His death was a great loss to the entertainment world and to his legions of fans. However, his legacy lives on, and his influence can still be felt in Western entertainment today. In conclusion, Roy Rogers was a true American icon, a beloved entertainer, and a pioneer in the world of Western music and film. His unique blend of singing, acting, and sharpshooting helped to define the image of the singing cowboy, and his impact on the world of Western entertainment is still felt today. From his beloved horse Trigger to his unforgettable music and films, Roy Rogers will always be remembered as one of the greatest stars of the West.